Nice.
Welcome back to a video here at Euphoric Sports, and I'm here with special guest Andrew, MLB analyst, coming into the NFL, and we've got Joey here, super Dolphins fan. So we're gonna be talking about the NFL, the pictures right now, who's underperforming, who's overperforming. We're gonna start off with the AFC. We've got Chiefs in first, then Dolphins, Titans, and Ravens, all division winners right now as it stands. Then we've got the Jets, Bills, and Patriots. So, Joey, who do you think here is overperforming and we won't be seeing in the playoffs?
Um, so first off, I'm gonna start with probably the best team, arguably the best team in the AFC right now, and that's Miami Dolphins. I know that they're not the one seed yet, but I feel like honestly, in the beginning of this, towards the end of the season, they will finish amongst the top, higher than two seed, which would be one. But other than them, I would really say probably the Jets. Going into that whole draft with three rookies or three draft picks drafting rookies. I haven't really seen anything crazy. Didn't really believe in the whole head coaching idea, but the idea of them drafting Sauce Gardner and going fully in on their defense is and it's panning out. So that's one thing that kind of shocks me, but I got more on them later on in this video.
So, do you think you're going to be seeing the Jets in the playoffs?
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say that for later, but
Oh,
to be honest, I don't think so. I think with
no.
a huge loss to Brees Hall
Mhm.
and his torn ACL, I think that their offense is what led them to scoring highly. Their defense is pretty good right now, but if their offense that was ran through Brees Hall isn't there anymore, then I honestly think that the Jets could slowly be on the decline again because from before this year, I had noticed that the Miami Dolphins were very heavily on their defense and less on their offense. And look what that got them. They, fall short of a playoff for about 2 years, 3 years straight. And without an offense, you can't really, people say defense wins championships. To be honest, I don't think so. So
Well,
I could probably see a decline in the Jets towards the end of the season.
hmm. Andrew, any thoughts on that little Jets talk right there?
I think Jets are the one team that have the most possibility of getting out of the playoff spot, especially at the fifth spot. But I
Mhm.
think the Patriots are interesting enough. You have the Chargers at the A seed right now, and they're getting Mike Williams and they're getting Keenan Allen back because they fully practiced this week. So I think that's a good possibility of them slipping into that spot. Whether it's the Patriots go up or the Jets fall out, I think the Chargers are an interesting team to jump in. But you also got the Bengals at 9, which uh you know, they could sneakily win the division if they just step it up.
Well, I have a question here. Out of that division, who do you think is the worst from the Patriots, the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins? Who is the worst team out of those? Because all of those teams as of right now would make the playoffs if the season ended now.
Probably the worst is the Patriots. Actually, nah. It's probably the Jets solely for their quarterback is complete it's he's pretty bad. So I could see him costing games.
Mhm.
But Patriots, their quarterback's not insane either, but I think they have a more, not say complete team, but I think they win.
Well, this week I believe the Jets play the Patriots, right?
Yes.
So who do you think wins that game? Because the Patriots have a very long streak going of beating the Jets. Who wins that one then?
I'm gonna be honest, I think the Jets because I think Sauce Gardner will cook whoever's on the Patriots.
All right, all right. What about you, Joey?
So this is what I'm gonna say about that game. We see the Ramondre Stevenson train fully in effect, and that's one thing that really shocked me. I know that the Patriots aren't like they were the past few years, without no Tom Brady. But I know that their defense is in full effect. I would say it's somewhat similar than the Jets right now, especially with a little bit more experienced players on the D line. And Matt Judon is going insane right now. So I feel like he can attack Zach Wilson with ease. And if just I don't really believe in the whole quarterback play right now within the Patriots, but I do believe in their run game, and I think their run game is what could possibly carry them to a victory. So, and also because since the Dolphins are on a bye week, the Jets win, they automatically go in the first place in the division because unfortunately the Jets beat the Dolphins. So I'm going full force in the Patriots for once.
All right, all right. Personally, I'm gonna say the Patriots are gonna win. I believe this streak should have ended the last time they played, and I believe Brees Hall played, and they still couldn't get the win. Now they're gonna have a weaker running back, game. Robinson is still good, who they got to replace, but I just believe if you couldn't get that one at home, you're not gonna get this one in Foxborough. But anyways, this leads us now. What do you think about the Chiefs and Chargers? Do you think the Chiefs are gonna stay there or do they fall?
I'll go
I'll go.
first. Oh yeah. All right, go ahead.
I was gonna say the Chiefs are still gonna take it. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. The one interesting thing is Juju out, but he's been more of a force lately. But they still have receivers that could pick up the slack. I
Mhm.
think they have not the greatest, but it's Patrick Mahomes. He can make plays easily, more than I think Justin Herbert can do if Mike Williams and Keenan Allen don't play, which it's leaning towards. I believe it's leaning towards them playing, but I still think Chiefs come out on top.
What about you, Joey?
Yeah, and really to just piggyback on that, I don't think anybody's better than Patrick Mahomes as of right now. I don't think anybody in that division is going to get close to the Chiefs. I thought that there could be a possible downplay within Tyreek Hill coming to Miami, and that whole who's going to fill in that Tyreek Hill spot. Yeah, they didn't get no top dog, but they got fillers, and it shows that Patrick Mahomes literally has not skipped a beat. I don't think the Chargers have what it takes, especially since they're battling with multiple injuries on both sides of the ball. Um, and to be honest, I don't think Herbert has that it factor. We've seen in this previous game versus the 49ers, he had two opportunities to go up and he completely choked. And That's basically you can't be doing late game mistakes like that and think that you're gonna have what it takes to beat Patrick Mahomes. So
Well, could you argue that maybe he didn't have his offensive weapons, that his best aerial threat was his running back?
if you go and look at the film, I've seen a lot of dink and dunks from Herbert to Eckler, and the whole injury thing could play in a factor. But at the end of the day, people in the media gassed up Herbert like he is the second coming of Jesus. And honestly, he still has weapons.
Mhm.
He still has a somewhat solid, and I think his name's DeAndre Carter.
Yeah.
Not really focused on the wide receiver room right now, but Jared Everett showed some good potential at the tight end spot, and also mentioning Austin Eckler, who could arguably say that he is easily top three running back in the game right now. So it's not that he's not fully without his wide receivers. Keenan Allen has been battling injuries ever since Herbert came into the league, and Mike Williams, like Andrew said in the beginning, these people are going to be coming back this year. So it's not really him missing out on anything. I feel like it's more on his ability to read the defense and just his poor play right now.
It's still his mistakes. It's not like his receivers are just like they're not the greatest, but it's still him making those mistakes. It's not the receivers It could be, but it's looking like Justin Herbert's making the mistakes, not anyone else.
Well, I'm gonna come into Herbert's defense here because we've seen, quarterbacks come in, play poor. You give them a good receiver, they end up, playing a lot better. An example would be Tua from the Dolphins. 1 year he's got a very iffy wide receiving core. He did have rookie Jalen Waddle, but then the next year, he ends up being a lot better. And then they add in Tyreek Hill, who's arguably a top 5 receiver, and his play has been exponentially better. He's in the MVP conversation. So I believe, a wide receiver does make the difference at times for these quarterbacks. And then Justin Herbert was putting up crazy numbers because he had Mike Williams and Keenan Allen for the most part. And a game like this against a top tier defense without your two guys, 1 and 2, I believe, obviously you were going to see him not play as well. And anybody could have guessed that. It's like putting up Tua against the 49ers and take away Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill later on this season. You think he's gonna put up 40 points like he just did against the Browns? It's not gonna happen. But this leads us to what is your prediction in the AFC at the end of the year? What do you got? The 4 division winners and the 3 wild card spots. Doesn't have to be in order. Who do you got at the end for the AFC?
So pretty much, I don't think, as of right now, which is another surprising thing, there's every single team in the AFC East in the playoffs right now. I definitely don't think that happens or towards the end of the season. I was told that the AFC West is going to be one of the hardest divisions, and they were definitely wrong. I think the Dolphins, like I said in the beginning, I think they overcome the Chiefs and take on that number 1 seed. The whole team is just playing absolutely ridiculous right now. A Tua-led offense with a really good run game right now is honestly kind of unstoppable. This previous game versus the Browns, the only reason I feel like the Browns are not really in this type of contention is because of their quarterback play. They have a backup quarterback in Jacoby Brissett, and I don't think he has what it takes because obviously, he started a few games with the Miami Dolphins last year and went 1-3. So obviously he can't really get it done there. They still have Nick Chubb, and they have a pretty solid defense. They just got Denzel Ward back that game and Myles Garrett, and those people aren't no scrubs. So the fact that the Miami Dolphins were able to stop Nick Chubb, who I think he's leading the league in rushing yards right now,
Saquon
as of right
Barkley.
now, he's up there. He's up there for sure. The fact that they stopped him, I believe, under 100 rushing yards, with that whole addition to trading for Bradley Chubb, is I think they have what it takes to take over that 1 seed. The AFC, let's see, the AFC South, I think that's long gone. I think that's the Titans. I don't think anybody comes back. Colts are very, very disappointing season, having to go into bringing in Sam Ellinger, Pretzel Boy, and having to switch back and forth with Matt Ryan. It's just been a terrible show.
Were you not impressed with the win they had against the Raiders?
No, because unfortunately the Raiders are kind of cooked as well. They brought in all these people, and unfortunately it's not panning out. It could be the head coach, it could be the quarterback play, it could be the overrated defensive signings. And I think it's just I think it's just an absolute mess in Las Vegas right now. They obviously have their minds on the gambling slots instead of the football field.
They thugging.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's gonna take that division. The AFC North, realistically, it's gonna be the Ravens or the Bengals. I don't see the Steelers coming back anytime soon. Sorry, Emino. The Cleveland Browns,
4.
I think that loss to the Miami Dolphins is what kind of set their season. Deshaun Watson comes back week 13. For that 4-game stretch is not gonna change anything. It's either gonna be the Bengals or the Ravens. I honestly think the Ravens hold on. With the whole trade for Roquan Smith and them getting their linebackers back. I think that's the defense that they need. And that's what can hold it down. The AFC West, like I said, nobody's beating Mahomes. Mahomes got that division locked.
And what are your
The
wild
3
cards?
wild card spots, it's gonna be close. I definitely do think that the Bills will still be there. It's all up to Josh Allen's play. Past three games, he's thrown 6 interceptions total. I believe almost half of them are in the end zone. We kind of seen what he does towards late game situations, and he chokes, and that's not good. So he needs to step up his play. He is about 70-80% of that entire team's offense, and if he's throwing these games away, he's gonna throw the Bills season away. But like I said, I think they do finish up top of the wild card spot. I do think the Bengals do come for either 6 or 7. I still think they got it with the Chargers battling injuries right now. I think the Bengals have that spot to lose. Even though they're not in it right now, I can see them coming back. And I'm gonna say this 7 seed prediction. I'm gonna say the Patriots. I'm gonna say that the Patriots sneak in and take that 7th wild card spot. I'm not gonna really count out Bill Belichick, but I will count out their quarterback play. But I think that Bill Belichick will have them in somewhat of a late wild card playoff push.
All right, Andrew, what is your top 7?
All right.
Mhm.
So I think most of this is going to stay the same. Chiefs are going to stay the number 1. Dolphins have a sneaky chance to get in there, but I think Patrick Mahomes is going to keep that more likely. I think Dolphins will stay at 2, which is I think a good sign. Titans are going to stay. There's no shot the Colts ever come back. Obviously, any of the other teams are not going to make it. So there's not even a point in even mentioning that. The Ravens sneakily can fall to probably. I think Loki the Ravens can fall, and Bengals could maybe sneak in a chance to get into that spot. But I think that's probably a stretch. So I would think Ravens stay. I think the more lucrative spots, or the more not lucrative, but the more volatile spots would be 5 and 6 with Jets and Bills, because I think Bills can move up, but I also think Jets will move down. So I think Bills will probably get at that 5 spot and stay there. And Jets might slip out. And maybe go to the 7th seed. Maybe.
So, all right. So for me, I think Chiefs won their division for sure. They'll probably be the 1 seed. Then I believe Bills are gonna take that division back. I'm sorry. There's no way the Dolphins are gonna beat the Bills twice this year. There's just no way. And it's still, 1 game difference. I believe the Dolphins have, 3 games or 2 games left that are winnable. And then they're gonna go off to like San Francisco, which will be a tough game. They'll play the Chargers. We'll see that Herbert Tua thing. They won't win both of those. At least one of those will be dropped. And I believe the Bills have the capacity to end up having a better record at the end. At the end of the day, the Dolphins will still have 11, 12 wins. I said this before the season, 12 wins for the Dolphins. And, the Bills have been a little bit underwhelming, but I think they can go on a run. Now, Chiefs, Bills, then I believe I'm going to keep it unbiased, and I'm just going to say the Ravens are going to win. They've beat the Bengals, and it really does pain me to say, but the Ravens look the best out of the division so far. Well, really, it's just Lamar Jackson carrying, and their defense is solid. They did a good trade with Smith, and that's really it with the Ravens. And then the fourth part, I really want to take the Titans off because I'm gonna say this right now: the Titans are the most overrated team that'll probably make the playoffs. Malik Willis and Tannehill have been really iffy, and I won't even blame them because the O-line has been injured and the wide receivers are very underwhelming. The defense is still good, and you got that monster in the back in Derrick Henry, but I'm gonna stick with the Titans just because the Jaguars have disappointed me. The Colts have disappointed everyone. But if the Jags end up sneaking back in, I want you to remember who said before the season they were gonna be the 7th seed. But anyways, then the Dolphins will be the 5th seed for sure. Then I believe we're gonna be seeing the Patriots, and then we're gonna be seeing the Chargers. Yeah, I'm leaving the Bengals off because I just think the Bengals, they've had too many injuries, and I don't trust Joe Burrow. I know he just made the Super Bowl and all, but that is a one-season wonder, and Joe Burrow will never, ever, ever in his career be in that stage again. Clip it, screenshot it, put it in a library. He will never make a Super Bowl again. Now, that leads us to the NFC. We've got Eagles first, Vikings second, third Seahawks and Bucks. Very trash division over there with Tom Brady. But anyways, then the Giants, Cowboys, and 49ers are the wild card spots. What do you guys think about this one? Let's start off with Joey.
Just a bunch of huge surprises. Seahawks, them trading Russell Wilson. Obviously thought there was going to be somewhat of a downgrade of quarterback. I was definitely wrong. Geno Smith I'm giving that boy his flowers because he is currently balling out, leading them to the 3rd seed right now. Vikings. We can kind of also go to track back to the Rams, kind of their downplay with them losing Kevin O'Connell, and he has literally turned their offense, the Vikings offense around, because I've always thought that the Vikings, they always had that team, but I didn't know exactly what was wrong with them. I didn't know if it was Kirk Cousins just being just average. I think his win-loss record before this season was literally even. But or if it was just the defense. But I honestly think that if you watch those games, I've watched a couple of them, their offense looks absolutely great. And I'm seeing Justin Jefferson do these plays that got Cooper Kupp that Triple Crown last year. And it's honestly very surprising. Eagles at the top, at the very top. I kind of was hoping that they lost only just so that the Dolphins still remain the only team undefeated, even though I wasn't alive in that area. Yes, I can still acknowledge it. But they're just the NFC and the Eagles remaining schedule. They have a weak schedule. They face a bunch of backup quarterbacks, and unfortunately, that's just how the NFC is looking right now. So, I'll still give them their flowers. They went 8-0, almost had it, but then I don't know what happened that one game, with versus the Commanders. But we all know who's probably going to end up going to the bowl. I'm not counting out Tom Brady. I forget which analyst said it, but he said he wouldn't be surprised if they go 8-9.
Nick Wright.
The Bucks go 8-9, and he goes to the Super Bowl again. 49ers with the trade of CMC. I just gotta say, wow! Like just them getting that already having a good run game with Elijah Mitchell and what was Jeff Wilson before he got traded to Miami. I feel like they didn't really need a CMC, but if you're able to make that trade for Christian McCaffrey, you go and make that trade. And right now their offense already with a star-studded defense, their offense looks really good. So I wouldn't be surprised if they move up in the rankings. I know that they're at 7 right now. Cowboys, You know, Cowboys gonna Cowboys, Dak's gonna Dak. You know, they're gonna go to the first round and lose again. And the Giants, before the whole head coaching process, I wanted Brian Dable as the Miami Dolphins head coach. I know that he worked alongside Tua in Tua's natty run when he threw that bomb to Devontae Smith to win. And I was just thinking, you know, if they have the chemistry already, why not run it back? But what Brian Dable's doing with the New York Giants right now is you can tell that it's the coach's effect because Daniel Jones is getting the job done. I'm not really saying that, you know, he's really good. I'm just saying that he's getting the job done. And healthy Saquon is honestly pretty scary. And yeah.
All right, all right. So here I'm gonna say something. A quick little thing about that. A Buccaneers Super Bowl prediction here. Now, I've watched quite a lot of Bucks games, you know, for selfish reason on fantasy football. I had Mike Evans before I traded him because I don't believe in this 8-9 fairy tale where they're gonna go 8-9. They're gonna face what, Daniel Jones, and they're gonna win there, and then face what, the Vikings or something. Then they're gonna face the Eagles and go all the way through. I'm here to tell you right now that is not gonna happen because that Bucks team is a hospital when it comes to defense. It's not a top 5 defense right now, and statistically speaking. And Tom Brady, we all know he's never really won a Super Bowl when he's had a poor team, and he's had to do a lot more than everyone else. And then we know what's going off the field. You know, I've stayed away from that, even though I'm one of his biggest haters. But this team is just not it. He does have the weapons. His tight end, you know, he doesn't have Gronkowski anymore. Like I said, the defense isn't as good. The O-line isn't that good. It's a recipe for disaster. And if Tom Brady gets this Super Bowl done, I'll give him his first props ever. Still not the GOAT, but I'll give him some props. So, Andrew, what do you think about this playoff picture?
I think the Eagles, kind of like what Joey said, they have the easiest schedule. I don't see a change in the Vikings getting to that first seed. Kirk Cousins, while he does look good, if you look at the stats, he's still not like an insane quarterback. He has weapons around him, obviously, with Justin Jefferson. And Dalvin Cook had that huge run the other day. I just don't see the Vikings go to the first seed at all. So I think Eagles stay. Vikings will win the North. It's no shot that they lose that. I think San Francisco can sneakily get into that third spot and take over the West. They're a much better team, but Jimmy G is still not great, even though he's hyped up to be. He's not that great. But all the weapons around him are really good, so we'll see about that. But I definitely think the Seahawks will not win the division and San Francisco will win, unfortunately, but they will. Bucks gonna stay there. There's no shot in, you know what? There's no shot that they lose that division. Giants, they're fluky. I think they'll make it, but they're not gonna do anything in playoffs unless Saquon Barkley just carries the offense for like 200 yards. In the wild card. Cowboys, I think they low-key could be not that bad. So I think, especially if Odell goes there, which there's been rumors circulating that he's gonna looking into the Cowboys. So if they get a guy like Odell, I can see them moving up and maybe, just maybe, take the division. Maybe.
Take the division now.
Oh wait, hold on. Nah, psych. They can sneak into them. They could probably get a better record than the Giants. But if they get Odell, because he's a game changer.
Well, let me pick it back off of what you just said right now with the whole division thing. I'm looking right here that it's not that far apart. You know, the Giants are only one game behind the Eagles, and the Cowboys follow literally one game behind them. The Cowboys and the Eagles both have a 2-1 record in the division, and we all know that those divisional games matter. I don't think that they're done. Either of those teams are done playing each other. I think they have one more.
Not true.
So it's pretty close. And with the Giants being 0-1, it's gonna be it might be a potential shootout.
I think the Eagles play the Giants two more times.
Yeah, see, so like I said, they haven't really played each other fully, and it's a tight race in that division. So things could happen, things could change. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, that division right there. This is one of the first times I've ever been wrong on something like this. I said that division was gonna be really bad, and I thought that division was gonna be what the Seahawks, 49ers, Rams, and Cardinals was gonna be, and I was kind of wrong here because what that division was supposed to be, it's literally the one with the Giants, the Commanders, the Eagles, and Cowboys. Because if you really think about it, the Commanders have 4 winnable games upon them. They just got a big win against the number 1 team that was in their division that had no losses. If they can beat the Eagles, they can go out there, beat the Texans, they can go out there and beat everyone else, all those 4 games, and they could potentially be 9-5. If they win all these games that they should probably win, they're winnable games, all 4 of them. And it seems like with Carson Wentz out of the picture and Taylor Heineke coming in, that they're a different team. They've got tons of running back depth. They got good receivers. That team right there is going to be really sneaky. And I really think they can give, the Cowboys, Giants, and Eagles a run for their money. And they, if they beat the Eagles on an 8-game winning streak, what can't they do, But this leads me to my next question, 1 through 7. What is your playoff picture at the end of the year?
Honestly, I think all these teams 1 through 7 is gonna make it. 8, 9, and 10, I don't think they have a shot. Commanders, no. What's very surprising is the downfall of Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. They haven't done literally anything that surprises me for them to be where they're at. Them losing Davante Adams, it's showing in their play that Aaron Rodgers needs Davante Adams. Alan Lazard and Christian Watson, that is Patrick Mahomes with cable, and Patrick Mahomes is Aaron Rodgers with DirecTV.
Well, you are comparing prime Mahomes to Aaron Rodgers up in age, though. To be fair.
Here's the thing too, and the thing about it too. Who won MVP last year? Didn't Aaron Rodgers win the MVP last year?
Yeah. But
so I think he still got it. But the idea of him, playing at an MVP status like he did last year, you would think that he would do something with not so the same receiving core as the Chiefs.
Well, I said that the Packers are going to fall off a little bit and not win their division, but get a 10-7 record, which is still viable right now. But I always knew when you lose a receiver who was the second best receiver last season in Davante Adams, and you end up replacing him with Sammy Watkins, you're going to your offense is going to go from an elite offense to, maybe a decent offense. And I thought that was it was going to show. And, we all know from going to Tyreek to Juju Smith-Schuster is a smaller fall than Davante to Sammy Watkins. And I don't think anyone here disagrees on that one.
Not joking.
Yeah, just going back to what I said, 1 through 7, I think it stays the same. It's just a matter of order. I would say Philly, it's going to be Phillies or Vikings finishing at the top of the conference. I just say that stays the same. One thing is Seahawks at 3. I think they switch with the 49ers. I think the 49ers end up making a good run. I do think they end up losing to the Dolphins towards the end of the season. So I think they do make a run and take that division. It's only a 1 game difference. The whole, like I said, the whole CMC addition. I think they have what it takes to take that division. Everything else, Bucks gonna win that division, and they'll be up there at 4, and the remaining spots is just gonna be Cowboys at 5, Giants at 6, and then the Seahawks at 7. So there's not really that much change other than the 49ers, unfortunately for Drew, taking that division. So
So Andrew, I wanna give you a quick question here, since you are a fan of the Rams. What is your thoughts on the Rams and their place right now?
Well, it's tough when the Rams were already bad with Cooper Kupp. Not it's his fault, but they're already bad. So you take him out of the equation, which was, I think it was 34% of our offense this year. And last year, I think it was 31%. It's going to make a huge effect. There's no player on the Rams, receiver-wise, that has the abilities that Kupp has. You could say like the next closest is maybe A-Rob, but it's Allen Robinson. It's like not comparable at all. So going forward, you have receivers that they're okay at best. Van Jefferson's gonna be wide receiver 2. A-Rob's gonna be 1. Then 3 is gonna be Ben Skronik, which he had his like decent moments, but they weren't like insane. So the offense is gonna be not good because the O-line is already trash. They already had 2 other guys go down the other day, one for blood clots, and I forgot the other one, but one's done for the season, other one's 4 to 6 weeks, basically done. The O-line is going nowhere. So if you factor that in, plus no Cooper Kupp, and it's a recipe, just I could see us being the last team in the NFC.
Well, I think that's very realistic take right there, Andrew.
I know.
I agree right there. But looking back, 1 through 7, I want to know your order. Or not your order, but who makes the playoffs?
I think it's pretty consensus that they're going to be the same. The order right now is going to be very close to it. I think that, like I said, the 49ers can sneakily win the division. Seahawks can keep it, but it's less of a shot. I think that's the closest division that could change. All the others will not change much, if any. So I would say Seahawks can maybe be 6th or 7th, maybe.
You don't think anyone falls out of the 7 that are currently right now?
Nah, because I think Cowboys are decent enough. I don't think Washington's still not good enough. Packers can sneakily make it in there, but that's a very low shot. Falcons are hot garbage. Cardinals are garbage. Lions are garbage. Rams are garbage. Panthers are garbage. Saints. No, I just don't see anything.
Well,
I think it's if anything, Seahawks and 49ers will switch.
Well, I kind of believe right now that we're going to be seeing some shift in the NFC. Hot take. I think 2 teams are falling out. I think Vikings and Eagles, untouchable. 49ers, top 3 teams right there. 4, the Bucks, because it seems like the Saints, Panthers, and Falcons are all just garbage. Then you look at the other 3. This is where the movement comes. I am not sold on the Cowboys and the Seahawks. I know Geno Smith has been playing out of his mind. I think the Cowboys have a problem because they paid a lot of money to Zeke and Dak. And I believe those are, you can argue that those 2 guys are going to be the reasons why they're going to miss out on the playoffs. Obviously, Tony Pollard should be RB1. Everybody knows, but, Zeke gets paid a ton of money. Dak, we saw Cooper Rush come in and win a lot more than he lost when he was the starting quarterback. So that team right there, if they do not get Odell Beckham, they will be missing the playoffs. Now, what teams do I think will replace them? I think the Giants are going to be there for sure. They are a playoff caliber team. You know, Brian Dable did a great job. I think that will be the 5th team. And then we've got Packers. I believe you can't doubt Aaron Rodgers. Just got a huge win against the Cowboys. And he's going to be propelling this team into the playoffs if it's 7th or 6th team. But I said they were going to make the playoffs as a wild card. And that leads me to the last team, which I mentioned earlier. I think the Commanders make the playoffs. Ron Rivera is a great coach. 5-5, I believe, is their record. I believe right there, you can easily propel yourself. The next 4 games are all winnable. Let's say they win 3 of those. You're 8-6. You're in prime position to make it to the playoffs. Then you're gonna, be playing some in-division opponents, and I believe they can get a lot of these wins. They got an impressive win against the Packers the other time, and then the Eagles won. But yeah, I believe that's going to be the playoff picture. I think the Vikings are going to end up overtaking the Eagles and being the first overall seed, like I predicted before the season, by the way, that the Vikings are going to be the #1 team in the NFL, having the best record. I said that before the season. I believed in the former Rams offensive coordinator because he made Cooper Kupp into a record-breaking receiver. So that is my thoughts. You guys disagree
He
with
did that
any
himself, but whatever.
himself? Who's calling the plays?
Who ran the routes?
Who was calling the plays? You see Justin Jefferson doing to the Bills?
I see him actually catching the ball. I don't see the coordinator catching the ball.
No, but he's calling the plays and putting him in those positions.
That boy
Ladies, 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 ladies. We know what's going on with the Vikings, like I said before, and what's going on with the Rams. The Rams are clearly missing the Kevin O'Connell because he is absolutely tearing it up in the Vikings. No shot to Drew,
That's a
but
bum from
I'm
Kentucky calling, making, offensive plays.
that is true. See, so like I said, they're missing Kevin O'Connell badly. Uh, like I said before, Justin Jefferson is doing routes that I've seen Cooper Kupp doing, and that is why the Vikings are 100% successful because of their new coach.
He's a heck of a coordinator. I do have to agree. Just the last thing right here. I just want to know, who is your MVP for the last thing to finish it off? Who will win MVP at the end of the season?
All right. Not a lot of people are gonna like this, and I'm gonna predict it, but I gotta ride with my dude, Tua Tagovailoa, man. I think he's gonna take over. He's been literally on fire this entire time. He's undefeated, 7-0 in games that he starts and finishes this year. Very impressive. I knew that he was going to have a jump in the beginning of the season. I just didn't know that this whole idea was going to become a reality, and it sure is a reality. They have a pretty set schedule, a pretty easy schedule towards the rest of the season. Off a fresh bye week this week, they go and face the 32nd ranked offense in the Houston Texans. Just another great start to keep this championship journey going on for the rest of the season. I think they're gonna demolish the Texans, and it's just gonna add another check mark as to why Tua should be MVP.
Davis Mills upset 5 times. All right, Drew, what's your MVP, man? Cooper Kupp's out of the conversation. Stafford's out of the conversation.
Well, I wasn't gonna say either one, so joke's on you. Cam Akers.
What?
I'm looking gonna say Tua. He's been balling out. He's been putting up 3 touchdowns each for the last 3 games. He's throwing yards. He's not making a ton of mistakes. He hasn't thrown picks that much. I think he just continues it.
Yeah, 3 picks on the season, by the way, and 18 touchdowns. So,
well, I mean,
none of those touchdowns within the last 3 games. So.
And 9 touchdowns to 0 interceptions the last 3 games, so almost 1,000 yards, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If the Steelers
969, so
if the Steelers could catch Tua, would have 2 interceptions, but we all know Cam Sutton has butterfingers.
But they didn't.
Yep. Hey, but you know what happened that game? The next Deion Sanders and Noah Igbenogany, that boy could catch because he caught that last second interception.
Hey, Brian Flores, this guy. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Kirk Cousins will be winning
Jesus.
MVP. Yeah, you heard it here. You can laugh, but Kirk Cousins, I'm telling you, he's gonna lead his team to have the best record in the NFL. And as we saw, last year with the Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers MVP conversation, it kind of looked like it ended up being the guy with the best record. And I believe the Vikings will be that team with the best record at the end of the year, which will give him a little boost and he'll have decent numbers. And, at the end of the day, it's the most valuable player, not the most, statistically putting up better numbers. So Kirk Cousins will be the MVP. Remember the name. It's going to be, that's the MVP. I don't think Tua does it. I'm sorry. I just don't have confidence in him winning MVP. Maybe in another season, but not this year.
Well,
Kirk Cousins is hold on 1 second. Kirk Cousins has 14 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That is not MVP numbers,
You'll
and
see,
no
bro. You'll
shot that
see.
no
He's gonna
shot they
turn
give
it
an MVP to
around.
that dude. No shot.
He's gonna turn it around, Drew.
I think
Be
if it's
confident.
gonna be, I think if it's gonna be anybody on the Vikings for MVP, I think Justin Jefferson clearly takes over that spot over Kirk Cousins. We know that MVP the past few years has been somewhat of a quarterback award, but if it's gonna be anybody on the Vikings to win MVP, it's gonna be Justin Jefferson. We seen what we did. We seen what he did in that catch versus the Bills. I was so happy that he did that because I need the Bills to go down to the ground, you know. So I think if it's gonna be anybody on the Vikings right now, it's gonna be Justin Jefferson. I think he's clearly the best player on that team.
I would like to say Justin Jefferson, and I would preferably want Justin Jefferson to win, but as you said, it's turned into a quarterback award, and I don't see it changing unless this dude goes for 2K yards. Then I'll be like, you know what? He got it. But I don't think he'll get the 2K. I think he'll get very close, since they've added an extra game and it's now 17 games, we could see possibly him get the 2K yards. What do you think, Drew?
If Cooper Kupp won a triple crown and didn't get an MVP, there's no shot Jefferson's gonna get MVP. No shot.
Well, you could also argue it was because of, Rodgers and Brady had a really good year. And this year we are not really seeing a quarterback have a monster year, except like maybe Mahomes,
Did Cooper Kupp not have a monster year?
but like it's more of a quarterback award. It shouldn't be, but it's been that way. You know what I'm saying?
Hence why he's not gonna win it.
Yeah, and if we're talking about receiver getting 2,000 yards, we should talk about who is actually on pace to get near that, and that is Miami Dolphins wide receiver 1 Tyreek Hill, man. So,
All right,
yeah, I
Kirk
said
Cousins
it.
looking likely now.
But anyways, leave a comment down below on, takes that you agreed with, disagreed with. What do you guys think about Joey? Show some love in the comments and the like bar, subscribe for these guys. And anyways, thank you guys for watching and see you on the next one.